Hello, my name is Charlotte Woodford, and I will be speaking on the concept of pseudo-apologies. This concept was outlined in the reading Shifting Identification, a theory of apologies and pseudo-apologies. A pseudo-apology is defined by Bentley as rhetorical acts that contain language such as, "I'm sorry" or "I apologize," but fall short of genuine apologies in various ways. Pseudo-apologies may minimize the severity of an offense or express sympathy without taking responsibility. My first example of pseudo-apology is that of Jojo Bing. For some backstory, the offensive act that Jojo Bing committed is the following. Jojo Bing was the main operator involved in a frightening sex crime controversy known as the Nth Room. On a chat room service called Telegram, rooms were used to share sexually explicit photos and videos of female victims, including minors, to some 260,000 users. Its reported blackmail was used to coerce victims into violent acts, including sexual assault, and the videos of these acts were sold to users. Jojo Bing is also said to have sent reporters threatening messages and plotted to kill a child. These acts show a genuine disinterest in acting in a moral and humane manner. However, when trialed for these wrongdoings in court, Jojo Bing simply stated, "I apologize to those who were hurt by me, and thank you for ending the life of a demon I could not stop." This is a pseudo-apology, as Jojo Bing externalizes the part of himself which conducted the unethical behaviors and avoids taking complete responsibility. As previously stated by Bentley, a genuine apology must initiate empathy between the offender and the aggrieved. However, Jojo Bing's apology does not expose his true nature and intentions and therefore cannot offer closure to his victims and their loved ones, nor can it explain the thought behind his proceedings. Lazare states that the major characteristics of a pseudo-apology is offering a vague and incomplete acknowledgement of the wrongdoing, using the passive voice, and using the empathetic "I'm sorry." We see all of these tactics in Jojo Bing's apology, and thus he made this statement in order to regain positive and public opinion and avoid the consequences of his purposeful actions. However, this concept can become complicated when a pseudo-apology is not used in a manipulative or self-aware way. A case showcasing this idea is the murder of James Patrick Bulger, who was a 2-year-old boy from Merseyside, England, who was abducted, tortured, and murdered by two 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and John Venables. The two boys were sentenced to 8 years imprisonment in 1993. This case received widespread media coverage and has been part of the true crime landscape for decades now. To understand this case, one must understand both the children's lives and the way in which their social relationships stunted their moral growth. Robert Thompson came from a poor and disruptive family. The family had several children, including him. Both his parents were habitual alcoholics and drug consumers. They would routinely quarrel and blame each other for not being able to support their family. Whereas John Venables was a victim of bullying, as the children in his neighborhood would often resort to teasing and bullied him for having what they call backward siblings. They would regularly force him to impersonate his backward siblings if he wanted to play with them. It had been noted that he faced the same sort of bullying at school too. These two children did not have a great upbringing and environment, and thus they were predisposed to mental illness and impulsive decisions. However, in 2018, Robert Thompson apologized and told the parole board, "I am deeply ashamed of what I did, and having played a part in this horrible murder." When he was shown CCTV images of James and the victim being led off with the two boys, including him, Thompson said, "I very much regret that I did nothing to stop it at this time, and the sight of those photographs filled me with shame and revulsion." In this statement, he said, "At that time in my life, I was completely out of control and spending time with a group of friends whose main occupation was committing crime and causing trouble." He also stated, "I was out of control because my life on the streets was better for me than my life at home. There was nothing for me at home." Pleading for release, he said, "I do feel aware that I am now a better person and would have had a better life and a better education if I had not committed the murder." This apology covers majority of the characteristics of pseudo-apology, including using the passive voice, and he also apologizes for the wrong offense by stating, "I very much regret that I did nothing to stop it," even though he was proven to be directly involved in the offense. My question to the class is, how can we recognize a pseudo-apology in contrast to a transformation of character? Is Robert Thompson a different person to who he was when he was a child? Or are some people innately evil and unable to reconcile their past actions?